right, so we're still in the midst of a pandemic by most definitions, I suppose.
Right.
And I'm sure a lot of people out there are interested in what they can do naturopathically to help their body resist viruses and help get rid of them faster once they get them. So that's what this episode's about. Antivirals with naturopathic Dr. Randy Lee. You're listening to Natural Health Dialogue. Randy, what are we talking about?
Joseph, I had in the last month, I've had a half a dozen people walk into my shop and and ask me, well, we're all worried about all these viruses. Now, what is a virus? What is it actually?
Right.
So I actually went to Wikipedia. I looked at some dictionaries as well, but I like the Wikipedia thing that says a virus. This is quoting: a virus is a submicroscopic infectious agent that, and then I underline this, replicates only inside the living cells of an organism. Viruses infect all types of life forms, from animals and plants to microorganisms, including bacteria. Now, I highlighted that because a virus is of no harm unless it gets a host.
Right.
And so it can only replicate itself inside the living cells of an organism. Mm-hmm. You can be that organism.
All right.
If you get the virus inside you. But it requires, it can be laying on a table, it can be floating in the air, it can ride in your vehicle with you or own your vehicle, but they're not replicating if they're there.
Right.
They have to be inside you to be replicating. And so what we're trying to do when we sanitize or use hand sanitizers or wipe down the tables or wipe them off, we're trying to make sure that we get rid of any living virus that are there. Mm-hmm. I had a couple of nurses within the last week who told me that if they have a hospital room that has a person in there that has a virus, the first thing they do when that person leaves that room is close the door. They leave it for at least an hour before anybody else goes in there. Most viruses can only live for about an hour if they don't find a host to proliferate in. And so, number one, keep rooms that you're not using closed up. If you sneeze in a room, close it up and wait for about an hour or so and then go in and do some sanitizing. Anything that's residual you can clean up with the sanitizers. But in the first place, the virus is probably not going to live for more than an hour or two on its own if it doesn't find a host.
Okay.
Now, be advised that host could be a bed bug as well.
Right.
So that doesn't mean that if you close the door, there's not going to be any virus in there. Any organic host that it can find, it will live in.
Right.
But if it's cleaned and sanitized otherwise, then the chances are that you can work with that. Mm-hmm. I also looked at a number of medical articles and found that there are over 50 different pharmaceuticals currently on the market that kill viruses. So if you got 50 things that are kill a virus, why are we still having trouble with another virus now? And I answer that in one word: mutation. Virus and bacteria. I liken it this way: if you're in a neighborhood where the neighborhood bully is every day he's catching you on your way to school and stealing your lunch money, then what do? Well, obviously, you're going to start looking for ways to avoid that neighborhood bully. You may take a different path to school. You may get a big buddy to walk with you that can take care of the bully for you. You can carry a big stick, walk softly and carry a big stick. You can take a self-defense class. I mean, there's lots of things that you can do to avoid the bully. Well, that's exactly what a virus or a bacteria does as well. If you've got a pharmaceutical or something that kills that virus, then after a period of time, they're tricky little creatures. They'll just mutate to something else and take on a different form. And if they mutate, then the old things that you use to get rid of them don't work anymore. So you have to constantly find something new. So currently, if we're constantly wiped out by our immunity, then one of the things we have to do is find a way to mutate ourselves or mutate our actions as well to go
Okay.
along with it. Remember, he needs a host to survive, and we don't want to be that host.
Right.
So what can you do? You can find a new drug. Find the latest and greatest. Talk to your doctor. Find something that works. You can know it's coming and you can prepare for it. We did a blog in September specifically on herbal remedies that help us to fight virus in general, not necessarily this specific virus, but just virus in general. And that's in February. We mentioned last week also, go to thehealthpatch.com, look at the drop down that says resources, and under there you'll find blogs, and then go back to the March blogs and you'll find the herbal things. I'm not going to go back over the herbs in this particular one. And then thirdly, take the two-pronged approach, I called it. Two different kinds of ways to approach it, even if you're using supplements. You can use supplements that set up an environment in your body where that the virus can't exist. You have the kinds of things in there that kill virus or that just sets it up so that the virus can't survive in there. And then you can also have the kind that actually kill the virus. Herbs, and I mentioned a bunch of those in the March blog as well. Herbs that you can take. So what did we leave out? And the answer is there are also, besides the herbs, and there are some vitamins and minerals. And I started having customers come into the shop who said, I've been to the doctor, and the doctor tells me I need to take, and oddly to me, they were talking about basic vitamins and minerals that we normally take. So step number one, make sure you're taking a good multiple vitamin mineral supplement.
Right.
The more vitamins, the more minerals that you take, within reason, of course, the better you're going to be. And we've got supplements that have vitamins, minerals, amino acids, trace minerals, all of those things all in one, is along with some body support things. Or you can just take one that's got your good vitamins and minerals in larger quantities than those that are trying to do it all. But the things that the vitamins and minerals that the doctors have been sending people to us to get, and I'm going to mention some dosages here as well. And I want to tell you that not everybody is exactly the same. So the dosage I'm mentioning are for the average person with average health who works at taking care of themselves. You may need slightly more or slightly less. In that case, check with your doctor, check with your medical professional to find out for your body and the shape that you're in how much you should take. But in general terms, what will apply to just about everyone as an average, first of all, I'm going to mention 3 vitamins and 1 mineral that I've get lots of people coming in asking for. First, vitamin C. Vitamin C, you're going to need somewhere around 1 to 3,000 milligrams per day. Most of the references tell you that about, and most of the doctors are saying at least 1,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C.
Right.
Most of the references that we have say that the vitamin C works even better if you get one that's combined with some citrus bioflavonoids, which in themselves are a vitamin C source. But when you get the other things that are mixed with the vitamin C and the citrus bioflavonoids mixed with a good quantity of vitamin C, then you're going to get a better product overall.
Okay.
Vitamin D3, and the average that most people are coming in asking for is about 5,000, and they come in international units rather than they're fat soluble, and rather than milligrams, international units. We've got them in everything from 1,000 to 10,000. I personally think unless you've really got a problem, 10,000 is overkill. 1,000 is adequate for an awful lot of people, but most of the doctors are recommending 5,000.
Okay.
And then vitamin E, about 15 international units a day, another fat soluble vitamin where you want to limit it to about 15 units. But vitamin E has a great ability to strengthen both the strength and breadth of your immune system, so that's a good one. And then the 1 mineral we mentioned is zinc. Tell people that my shelf stock for zinc before this pandemic hit up was 2 bottles, and I didn't sell 2 bottles a month. And now then we're selling 50 times that amount every month. And most people are coming in, the medical doctors that I've been quoted are saying you need about 50 milligrams a day. We've got them that run all the way from 15 to 50. So take whatever your doctor or whatever you've determined you need to take. But zinc serves in a number of capacities to keep your immune system strong and help defend against bacteria particularly. Here's the last quote in my blog. I'm just going to read it. Use sensible precautions. Remember, viruses need a host to replicate. Don't be the host. Sanitizers, masks, and managed contact with carriers are all necessary, and a strong immune system is your very best defense. So take care of yourself and take precautions to stay away from as much of it as you can, and then just be sensible.
All right.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. All right. Very good. We hope you all stay healthy till next time, and we'll see you next week.